So just over 1 year ago, I left my hometown in the UK, moved across the other side of the world to Thailand, lived there for 3 months, and then moved here to Philippines since June. And ever since then, this is where I'm at. This is where the home base is. And I made that move 1 year ago when I was just 19 years old. And before that, 1 year before that, I was still going to university. I was doing first year. I was studying marketing. I just followed the traditional path, even though deep down in my heart, I didn't want to do that. But I felt just pressured from society, from family members to just take that path. And then I dropped out after that first year, and here we are today. A lot of stuff I've learned throughout these 2 years, and I just want to go over it today in this video. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully you get something out of it. First lesson that I learned, everything that you want in life will be given to you. It just depends on how bad you want it and how clearly defined it is. So let's get into that. For many years, I basically have been making vision boards, especially since I was younger, especially when I started getting into this whole self-development, whatever you want to call it, this self-development space, this entrepreneurship space. I've been that type of guy who would always make a vision board, and I've refreshed mine, I've refined mine. I tried to make it exactly as very defined and exactly what I wanted out of life. And the key when you're making your vision board and you're just trying to decide on what it is exactly you want in life, even if it's not clearly defined, at least you have a sort of vision. You need an anchor. You need to know exactly where you're trying to go. But ideally, it is as defined as possible, meaning that you got to ask yourself these questions, right? You're going to be very exact. What would a dream day in a life look like? What kind of relationships do I have with my family? What sort of physique would I have? How much money am I making per month? What kind of friends do I have? What are their qualities? What type of women or men or whatever you're into, what kind of person are they that I'm dating? All these different questions. Where do I want to live? What's the climate? What does it look like? Is it hot climate? Is it a cold climate? Is it near the beach? Is it in the city? You're going to define all these things, because if you don't define these things, you're going to just be going through life and going through the motions, and you're just going to end up not being very happy because you're not getting what you want. Okay, so when I was making the vision boards when I was like 14, 15, 16, 17, leading up to this moment, it was always an idea I had in mind. I always wanted to live by the beach, live in a sick ass villa, live with the boys. I also wanted to be training Muay Thai. I wanted to be very healthy, very jacked, in shape. I wanted to be making a lot of money. I wanted to run my own business, all that good stuff. Also defined like what sort of activities would I be doing. After having given it a couple of years, it's actually come into fruition. It's scary how quickly, not just how quickly, but how exact it's become. So it might not happen overnight, but it's gonna happen if you just persist at it. That's why I threw in as well for the first lesson, how bad you want it. So again, I'm looking at my laptop here because I wanna make this more organized. So everything you want in life will be given to you. It just depends on how bad you want it and how clearly defined it is. So once you've defined your ideal vision, your ideal dream day in a life, you gotta just follow that up with actions. Manifestation doesn't happen by itself. You need to back it up with extreme action and the right actions too. So yeah, and that's all gonna come down to how bad you want it, because you can't just get this dream life that you're hoping for. You know, I didn't get to live in a sick ass villa, traveling the world, meeting like-minded people, not just, you know, having a solid group of friends, but also making big connections, especially out here in Manila now, because I've stayed here for quite a while now. That wouldn't have happened if I didn't back it up with the right actions and didn't want it as bad as I wanted it. Okay, it's not just gonna fall in my lap, all right? If you don't know what the right actions to take, get a mentor, get someone to help you out with that, someone who's in a position where you want to be. That's why I said, don't listen to these people who are not where you want to be, who are telling you to slow down, who are telling you your goals are too optimistic, because why would you want their life? If that's not the life you want, don't listen to them. Listen to the people who are where you want to be, and just take action on that. Okay, so that's the first thing that I learned. So this is gonna lead me on to my second point. You gotta throw yourself in the deep end, because then you will figure it out. Like, I don't care how scared you are. I don't care what background you're from or how you start off. If let's say you come into, because I know some people, and for myself, when I moved to Thailand, I had some savings. I was doing pretty well in my appointment setting gig, and that's what I teach people now as well. So if you're interested in that, link in the bio. But before I moved to Thailand, I was making pretty decent commission. I was making thousands of dollars, not to brag, but I was making thousands of dollars remotely online through something called appointment setting. And I was doing that for several months, and I was stacking up, I was saving. I was trying to make it consistent. And then, you know, I had some left over. I had some money in my savings. But since I had to pay for flight, I had to pay for insurance, I had to pay for all these things, I had to pay for the advance payment for the villa, that number in my savings went down pretty quickly. I wouldn't say close to zero, but I'd say it was a number that got me pretty nervous. So by the time I flew out, made that leap, flew to Thailand, and was living on my own pretty much, being independent. Now I was already in a slightly uncomfortable position. So that is fine, because that's what I wouldn't wish it any other way. That's an example of me throwing myself in the deep end and then me figuring it out. Because if I don't figure it out, I'll be forced to. If I don't figure it out, then I'm fucked, basically. So when you're thrown in these positions where it's a bit scary, and then let's say it doesn't go the way as planned, you're gonna be forced to figure it out. And what does that help you with? That helps you with being more resourceful. That helps you be more creative. That forces you to seek help, lower your ego, basically ask questions, get a mentor as well, ask people who are where you want to be, like I mentioned. And you're just going to learn a whole lot because you're being thrown in these uncomfortable situations. It's like the quote that goes, growth happens outside the comfort zone. If I had stayed comfortable in the UK, if I had stayed at my parents' house with the stability and the security, I love them to death, don't get me wrong, but that's just not where my growth was happening. I didn't want to stay there any longer. I felt like I was stagnant. I was just getting by. I wanted to grow. I wanted to get in comfortable situations. That's also one of the reasons why I left, and I started trying to be solo. I tried to be independent and on my own at the age of 19. All right, so throw yourself in the deep end, guys. You're not gonna regret it. The only time you're gonna regret it is if you don't challenge yourself, you don't force yourself outside of the comfort zone, and you don't end up figuring it out, and then you're gonna be back to square one. Okay, but for your personal development, that's gonna be one of the biggest things for you. Just figure it out. Okay, and then the third thing, it's leading on to the second point. It's kind of related. It's you will grow 100 times faster as a person and in all areas of life. You're gonna live with no regrets, basically. So these points all tie into each other, right? I know with me, I was a lot healthier within a matter of weeks just being in Thailand compared to being years. It's like staying for years back in my hometown in the UK. All right, the sun is there, nice hot weather. I trained Muay Thai there. I was hitting the gym there consistently. I was around high vibrational, other healthy people. My income started to go up because, again, I threw myself in the deep end. I had to figure it out. I had to work harder and harder than I was living at home, because otherwise the lifestyle, everything that I work for is not going to pay for itself. And I also met and connected with other like-minded people. I even met my mentor out there, which is great. Finally good to see him in person. All these things tie in together. Also, my mindset was better. Don't need to explain why. Made more connections, not just Thailand too, here in Philippines too. So connections, my mindset, my health, my overall happiness and fulfillment, the money, all those areas in my life have grown significantly 100x ever since I moved out and took the leap of faith, right? And I'm sure as people are hardwired to improve on themselves, to become better and better and make progress. Because if you're not making progress, you feel that emptiness inside. I know I do, at least. By you making the leap of faith, by you actually doing something and being free from whatever you're currently doing, whether that's work, whether that's school, I don't know what it was. For me, as I said, me being in uni, everyone telling me to get a part-time job, just follow the traditional path, follow stability, follow security, and work for someone else. That's not what I wanted to do. And then I took the leap of faith, and look where we are right now. So also, the content, the personal brand has grown exponentially too. Why? Because if you move to these places like Thailand, like Philippines, these nice places where you're living a good life, you're also learning more lessons that you can share to your audience. And then also, it's just nice places, so you'd want to film more, you want to get your camera out more, you want to write about it more, you're making more content, you're producing more, and you're giving more value to the world, and that's going to come back to you, like I said, things like connections, leverage, growing your business, getting more leads, whatever it is, right? Those are some of the lessons that I learned ever since I moved out at 19 from my parents' house and basically traveling the world and being here now in Manila, Philippines. So I hope this video inspires. I hope this video empowers you to take one step closer to breaking free, to actually making the jump, actually learning to live independently, especially at a young age, and just throwing yourself in the deep end, being cool with uncertainty and figuring it out along the way, because ultimately that's where the life of your dreams is going to lie. Whatever you had on your vision board, whatever these things you keep telling your friends and family that you're going to do but you never done, drastic action needs to happen if you've been stuck there for a while. And if this video did inspire you and it did empower you, and now you want to take the next steps but you just don't know where to start, or like I said earlier, you need a mentor, you need someone to help you out with the whole process, someone who's been there, done that, link in the description. I'm taking on students for this month, and next month soon I'm going to be opening up more slots for next month. For those who want to learn from me, learn how I basically transform my life 12 to 24 months, link in the description if you're interested in taking that next step and learning directly from me, doing exactly what I do and what my students do to live this sort of life, and soon help you get the same result. So hope you enjoyed. Link in the description. If you still want to find out more, behind the scenes, hit me up directly. Go on my Instagram, link is also in the description. I can speak to you personally. But yeah, guys, a lot is gonna happen if you just make the leap of faith. All right, so that's the moral of the story. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.